Once was a land of woe and strife, where the people were bereft of hope. They prayed to their gods of might and light to deliver the heroes of old. Instead they got heroes. Did you hear the quotes in my voice of moral ambiguity? They may help or may not help you at all. Depends on what's in it for them. They kick and they punch and they maul and they smash. They lie and they scheme and they burn and they slash. Succeed or fail, it adds to the tale. Dungeons and Debacle starts now.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the Dungeons and Debacles podcast. I am your host and dungeon master, Kevin. Going around the table, Hannah.
I'm Hannah, and I'll be playing Talia, the human rogue.
And Shane.
I'm Shane playing Alexander, the human wizard bard.
And John.
New. I'm playing Alunodas, Elven monk, devotee of ruin. Cook.
And Blake.
I'm Blake, and I'll be playing the eldritch knight / wizard, Juliet.
Alright, the last time on Dungeons and Debacles podcast, you had just finished a battle with some knights of Ashfell that came down to arrest everyone in this nomadic red talon camp that you were staying in. John tried to intervene and keep them from attacking the red talons. That didn't work out so well, and got a bolt shot at him for his effort. The prophet was killed along with most of the village, including the Rylana, the woman that you rescued from the cage outside of Southbend. After the battle, Torin decided he was going to take one of the horses that Edel had claimed for himself, which was kind of weird because he claimed all the horses, and Torin did not take very kindly to that, and a fight ensued. Instead of our group taking Edel's side, they decided to take Turin's side and knocked Edel unconscious.
Bam, Skippy.
So that's where we find ourselves now. Edel has been brought back up to health, and he's nursing his wounds. And I'm guessing everybody now is beginning to pack up and to head on the road.
Yep.
Yes, I was here the whole time.
You were the one that actually prevented Edel from dying.
Nice.
I don't know.
Oh, wait, is that nice?
I think Hannah did a better job of keeping him alive, honestly.
Oh?
Yeah, you were the one who kept him, almost not dead. I know you failed almost every single check, but...
I did my best.
Exactly.
You get an A for effort.
Yay!
So after this battle, I'm guessing that everybody is probably going to scrounge around this camp looking for some supplies to get on the road.
Yep, and then we'll go somewhere to take a good rest because we didn't get the opportunity to do that.
So we'll say you take about an hour and you find some oats and some grains to feed the horses. You find some dried meat and some bread to take along for the road. And you're all packed up and ready to go. So where are we going?
I think we should head to the borderlands between Ashfell and the orc camp, or the orc community. Start stirring up more trouble. Maybe take advantage of our disguise spells to convince the humans that the half-dwarfs are attacking.
Why don't we just use the disguise spells to actually get into the town? City, rather?
We could do that, yeah. I just want orcs distracted and focused outside rather than inside. Because we're going to have to do some breaking in, fancy stuff, and who knows what else, to get into, what's his name's tomb? Bonebreaker's tomb.
Personally, I think we need more information before we run up there and say hi to the orcs and they decide, oh gee, I don't know these people, let's just kill them.
True.
Any other thoughts from the party?
I'm always for the sneaking option.
You also have Turin's in your party too, and he has been party to a lot of the plans to stir up trouble in this area. So he would know, certain spots where there's encampments and possible patrols of humans and or Ashfellians and half-orcs.
And he's probably eager to get some killing in. I don't know if he would be good at helping us out for sneaking. What say you, Turin?
Turin looks at you and says, "Any day I can kill a half-orc, it's a good day."
So let's start making our way, I'm guessing northeast, wasn't it? Toward Ashfell? Maybe circle around, stay... Or do we need to go to the city? Do we want to go to the city?
I would like to go to the city personally, but that's, I leave that to a democratic group decision. Because I know it's controversial, you guys don't want to get caught, etc., etc.
Well, so long as nobody picks any fights in the city, then I don't think there's anything for us to get caught for. We're just simple travelers.
Now, you have... Which city are you talking about? Because there's actually two cities. There's Ashfell on the north side of the Black River, and then there is Southbend on the south side of the river.
My idea was Ashfell.
Ashfell looks like the bigger of the two.
It is, by far.
Also, it's on the same side of the river as Smolder, which is our eventual goal.
Now, here's the thing. In order to get to Ashfell, you're either going to have to go through Southbend, or you're going to have to try to find some way to cross the river that's outside of that town.
This sounds like a job for Oregon Trail.
We are not
Let's
trying
ford.
to caulk up my wagon.
You always ford the river. Always.
What? I always caulk the wagon.
Yeah, but then you're more likely to tip over.
Yeah, but I don't care about the rest of the people in the party.
So Turin's listening to this discussion, and he says, "It's too deep to forge with your horses. We're going to need a ferry or a raft or something else. There's ferries in Southbend, or we can try to find some boats or rafts, maybe outside the town in one of the farmers' villages."
I say let's just go through Southbend. After we rest up.
Well, we could probably rest in Southbend.
I just don't want to roll into town looking like we've just fought and killed a patrol of their best.
Well, I don't know what to say.
Does somebody have prestidigitation?
I do, and I can certainly clean everybody off, but the horses are a different story.
Oh yes, the brands. Those are under the saddles, though, yes?
As far as we know, yes. Right,
Then that
Edel?
should be-
Yeah, fam.
If you stable these horses, they would probably, comb them down, wipe them down, and take their saddles off, unless you did some sort of request, saying that you might have to leave. You're waiting for a message or something, and you might have to leave suddenly in the night, but to leave the horses saddled or something like that. I don't know.
Well, maybe we should just roll into town, do whatever it is, whatever tasks, chores you have in mind for town, Juliet, and then roll on out of town without staying the night.
That's a shame. We could all use a bed.
True, but I don't hearken on ending up in a gibbet. Any other suggestions or ideas?
Seems good to me.
To Ashfell.
You mean South Bend?
Yes, and then Ashfell.
Alright, so we're gonna head to South Bend. We're gonna try and stable the horses and tell them, as you suggested, ODM, to keep them hot, if you will. To keep their saddles on because we may have to leave in a hurry.
Okay.
And we'll go from there.
Okay, so you guys are going to travel for probably about 6 miles, and you're going to be nearing South Bend. You come across that road again, and you see the gibbets that have the bodies inside, except for now you notice that there's one gibbet that's empty, so it doesn't look like they've been able to put another person in that so far. As you get closer to the city, you can see it's a good-sized town. You estimate there's probably about 1,000 people that live here. You see many wooden buildings, the largest, which is 2 stories tall. They have plenty of room to spread out on this side of the river, so they're kind of sprawling. And before you reach the town, you'll reach some farms that extend out on all sides of the central town. This part of the river, you'll know, is about 1/4 mile wide in this part, and the water has a grayish hue, not exactly black as the name suggests, for this part of town. So you are going to roll up into town, and you get inside the city limits, and there's no guards posted outside on this road. There's no wall on the outside of this road. So you think this side of the river, they don't really have any trouble with like roaming bands of bandits or anything like that. So you get inside the town, and you're traveling down the main road, and the town's not very deep. So as you enter the town, it's probably not more than 1/4 mile till you see the river. And you can see docks down on that side. But roads spoke out from the entrance of this town, and you'll see plenty of mostly shops, because you would think that anything on this main road, it's pretty good real estate. So the people that can afford to be on this main road are your merchants and shopkeepers who are either selling goods or buying goods that are coming up and down the road and across the river. As you walk down the streets, you're going to see all sorts of races here. You're going to see, dwarves and humans and half-elves. You're even going to see a tiefling or two. But nobody here looks like they're, dressed for battle or soldiers or anything like that. And you're not really even seeing any guards on the street, which you might think is kind of unusual for a town this size.
I find everything about towns suspicious. And when they're not suspicious, I find that even more suspicious.
It decreases our chance of detection because they're not looking for anyone quite like us.
True. But I wonder why they don't have anyone on the street. Is it because they sent everyone out after the Red Talons, or something else? As in, do they have some other protection that we need to be careful of? But we wanted to get some... Sorry.
You could always ask around.
I was going to say, Talia, it's your specialty to find information and interact with maybe the seedier parts of the city. I don't know if there are really any, considering how rich it seems to be, but if you could do something like that, it's within your power.
I can do my best. Can I do a perception check to see if there's any thieves' cant written anywhere or any symbols I might recognize?
Yeah, you sure can. That's a 4.
That is a 4.
So
we're doing this out of 5, right? Not 20.
So you're looking around, and the most you're seeing is it seems like people were bored and whittling or doodling on stuff, or putting LK loves MJ, kind of stuff. But you're not seeing anything that sticks out as thieves' cant to you.
Alright, I'm going to find the shopping district. We're in the shopping district, aren't we?
Yeah, that's basically, you're on the main road, and all the shopkeepers and merchants would be on this road, because that's where all the traffic's coming through.
I'm going to keep my eye out for anyone who is skulking around, possibly, see if there's any pickpocketers nearby or anything like that.
Maybe Turin could tell us. Turin, is it normal for the town to have no guards? Is that who we encountered earlier?
Yeah, this is normal. They're very trusting people, and there's not many bandits in this area.
Oh, really?
Yes, they're soft.
Yes, they are. Alright then. Can you do your shopping here, Juliet, or do we need to go to somewhere bigger? What is it you needed?
Well, if it's a shopping district, I certainly could. Honestly, I wanted to spend time in town so I could collect a few magical inks and use some of the books that I collected from the tower.
Very well. Let's see if they have that here in town then.
Everybody give me a perception check real quick.
Passive of 16.
I forgot to mention before, I have a passive of 10.
Yeah, that's really not going to help you in check.
No.
All right, so nobody saw shit except for Alunodas. Alunodas, you are going to see not like blatant outright stares, but you're noticing, every now and then somebody's looking at Turin. Give me a wisdom check. Yeah, you don't know why that may be. That's an 8.
Well, in any event, I'll mention it quietly to everyone. Turin's drawing some attention. Not excessive, but he's getting some looks.
So you mentioned that, and Turin, starts smelling his armpits?
I'm guessing that he's dressed similarly to the other red talons that have come through.
Yeah, he's dressed in, rough-looking hide. And he's also carrying a spear and a shield. As you look around, you'll see that almost nobody here is armed. You might see a belt knife every now and then.
Okay.
But basically, you're a heavily armed party walking down the street. So you might be drawing some attention.
Huh. Well, we've come from the wildlands. So we at least have an excuse.
So, Juliet, what did you say you wanted to do?
I wanted to buy some magical inks so I could copy some of the spells from the books from the Isle of Insight into my own spellbook.
Okay. Give me an investigation check.
It's going to be an 18.
Okay, so you're walking up and down these streets, and you don't have to walk very far to get outside of the merchant district. It only probably goes about a block deep on either side of the main road. And you're not seeing any sort of magical shops or anything like that. Mostly it's general stores and places where people can buy stuff from the blacksmith, some exotic goods like spices. You'll also see some shops that are selling clothes and silks that have gone through here.
Alright, I guess they don't have quite what I want, but if Turin is drawing some attention, maybe there's some other things we could buy for him and reduce our chances of being detected.
Yeah, maybe get him some clothes, maybe a quick bath.
And Turin's going to say, I just bathed last month. I'm good to go. My musk is in that sweet spot between man and animal.
Well, we don't necessarily want to spend too much time in the city anyway. More time is more time to be discovered. We would just push on through and get across to Ashfell, get your inks, and then head out of the city. We're headed to somewhere to the north. We want to get there quickly because profit.
Profit or profit?
We're traders. Profits, speed. That's how that works, right?
Should we use aliases? Some kind of disguise, names, that sort of thing? I feel like we might be a little obvious just using our regular names.
True, and maybe a quick disguise to change some of our races. Apparently, if the talents... Well, no, the talents have the profit, so... trying to metagame, do we have any reason to suspect that people would be looking for us besides, people who have been profited? I don't think so, right?
I'll tell you this much. If the red talons in this area know who you are, it might be a good bet that, other law enforcement entities, the constabulary, might be looking out for you or have gotten some sort of description generally about this party.
Alright, so maybe change a few of our races to disguise us just a little bit. Won't hold up to scrutiny or magical stuff, but, every little bit, right?
So how are you going to accomplish that if that's what you want to do?
Well, we have illusion spells, yes?
I can disguise myself.
I think I have disguise person or something like that.
That would probably be the way to go then.
All right, so that's disguise self. That's no concentration on that, right?
I don't think so, no.
It just lasts an hour, it looks like, yeah.
Okay. This probably isn't something you're going to want to do out on the street. You want to try to, like, duck down an alley?
Yeah, I was just putting it out there to show that I have it and, like, where it is. Who else has this spell?
Talia, yes?
Yes, I do.
Because unless all of us change it, I don't think it really changes our people's perception. Because they're still going to recognize some of us.
True, but if we change the dynamic of the group enough, then maybe reports won't work. I wish we could disguise Edel. I don't know how common those are.
Yeah.
In any event, let's duck down an alley, disguise ourselves, and head on to the docks and catch a ride across the river.
Yep.
Okay, do you have enough spells? Has everybody got enough spell slots for everybody?
Well, they're just doing disguise self. I don't think that can...
Disguise self only works on yourself.
Yeah. So it's just going to be two of us changing.
So what's the point?
I don't suppose there's an inn or something we might be able to use as a hiding point, DM?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple of inns in this downtown area.
Perfect.
Stop in for just a quick moment, claim to get a message, and then take off.
Go in there, change, put away some of our weapons, you know. Maybe buy some extra clothes, some cloth, who knows. Literally anything to try and disguise ourselves. Obviously our two magic users don't really have to worry about that, but...
True. No, I think that sounds like a good idea.
Alright, so the closest inn you'll find is called the Black Trout. It is a 2-story wooden building. Out front of it, it's whitewashed and looks like it's in pretty good repair. There are some hitching posts out front and looks to be like a stable in the back.
Let's go ahead and tie up the horses out front. Let's not put them in the stable.
Okay, what are you doing with your cart?
Alunodas can stay out with the cart and the horses, mind them, and meditate.
So, is everybody else going into the inn?
Yeah.
Yes.
I suppose so.
Okay, you walk in through the entrance of this inn, and inside it seems to be very well maintained. There's none of that sour old ale smell or wine from being spilled on the floors. You look down the floors and they look like they're swept and well maintained. And this is basically a tidy little inn. Inside you're going to see probably about a dozen different patrons. Some look like they're farmers and merchants. You think most of them are from around here, and they're taking their lunch. And at the back of the common inn area, there's a bar, and there is a human male who looks slightly elderly, like in his late middle years, pouring ales out of a cask in the back.
Juliet's gonna walk up to the innkeep and say, good sir. We're looking for a place to stay for a little bit. Have you a room available?
He's got his back toward you currently, and he turns around and he gives a little start, like he wasn't expecting to see like a large armored dragonborn at the end of the bar. And he was like, "Oh, forgive me, you just gave me a start, that's all." "Yeah, we've got rooms available. How many and people and how many rooms will you need?"
We'll only need 2 rooms for 4 people.
Alrighty, we've got 3 available. So you can spread out if you want.
Oh, certainly. That would be much better than 3.
And how many nights?
Just 1.
Alrighty, hold on. Let me set these down and I'll calculate that for you. So he sets the tankards of ale down on the bar, and this woman server comes up and grabs hold of him and walks back off, and he pulls out a piece of parchment and a quill, and he starts making some notes, and he says, that'll be 3 gold pieces a night for each room, so that comes to 6 gold pieces. If I could just have you sign here.
Of course. Juliet is going to sign with a different alias.
What alias?
Rena Fairghost.
Nice.
So he takes back the parchment and says, Fair Ghost. Huh. You're not from those Gresson Fair Ghosts, are you?
I'm from Cala.
Oh, Cala. Oh, well, you're a bit far away from home. What you be doing in these parts, if I may ask?
Actually, I'm a priest of Erathis, and I'm on a mission to supply some of the other churches in the area. One apiece, despite the armor and such.
Ah, priest of Erathis, a holy woman. Don't get many worshippers of Erathis around this area, but word spreads, and I heard there was quite a bit of trouble down there with the temple. You said it caught fire or something like that.
Oh my goodness. I'd been there for a bit, but I didn't realize that it caught on fire. Some of my friends were in there.
No, it's ill news. I'm sorry to hear about your friends. I don't know much. I just heard it caught fire. I don't know if it destroyed the temple or if anyone was hurt or not. But you know how rumors are. We get quite a few of them come through here with all the traffic from the road and from Ashfell. So who knows if it's true.
Well, I hope that they are just rumors, but I will complete my business here and be on my way as soon as possible, if that's the case.
No problem. Don't mean to be spreading any rumors that might not be true, and I hope everything's okay at your temple.
Thank you. I appreciate that. How much will that be again?
6 gold for the 3 rooms.
Juliet hands over 6 gold.
He says, thank you. And then he is going to tear off a piece of this paper and say, this is your receipt.
Okay. And Juliet takes the receipt.
All right. Well, the rooms are just upstairs. You'll find them. They're the ones on the right, the first, second, and third one.
Thank you very much.
We'll be serving dinner around 6 o'clock. And just let us know if there's anything you need.
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate it.
And good day to you.
And you as well.
And he's going to turn around and start pouring drinks again.
Well, friends, let's head upstairs and take a break.
All right, what's everybody doing?
Alunodas is still out with the horses, meditating, braiding Buttercup's mane.
Is there a bathtub?
There is a community tub at the end of the hall.
Pass.
Not using the community tub.
I've gotten used to a certain quality of life.
Oh, bougie street urchin.
Very much so.
Got a taste of the finer things.
Ice cream will do that to you.
Indeed.
Okay, so here's my plan. Juliet is absolutely going to take a blood bath, so you guys can go screw yourselves if you're not. But I don't know about you guys. Juliet is going to disguise her weapons because all she has is a halberd and a longbow. A halberd, because she is an eldritch knight, she can store away in a demi-plane. And the longbow she can simply unstring and pretend it's some sort of quarterstaff. She'll take off her armor, and because I planned ahead and kept all the shit in my bag, I actually have robes fitted to her for priests of Erathis that we got all the way back in the episode where I actually burned that temple down.
Irony.
On top of that, I have red robes as well that I can use for someone else. Granted, they're kind of a symbol of the Red Talons, but I don't know who would know that. They don't have any symbology on them, per se.
They're reversible, too, so there's that.
That is true.
And that's not metagaming. We have sending stones.
Yeah, I just don't know that if that's canon that they're reversible. I don't ever remember saying that.
I think you said that so that we could, walk the streets and then without being caught, is what it was, I think.
I thought that's what the Erathis robes were for.
Anyway, that doesn't matter.
Well, Juliet is going to be well disguised. We have Talia and Alexander covered in terms of disguise. We could put the red robes on either Edel or our new friend, Barbarian.
Edel says, I'm not wearing those robes, fam.
That was Vito's thing.
That's true. But old habits die hard.
Turin's going to say, I'll wear the robes.
Okay, that settles that. Edel, you will have to find your own disguise, and Alunodas, I don't know what we're going to do with him.
I'm just a cart driver. I don't even have weapons.
Turin's going to say, I see the wisdom in wearing these robes. I'm not really outfitted to be walking the streets of a soft town like this.
Excellent. That's very wise of you.
Yeah, he's a barbarian, but he's not stupid.
A refreshing change.
Damn.
He is, however, chaotic evil.
And not above kicking a man when he's down.
Okay, and in terms of weapons, Talia and Alexander, what kind of weapons do you have? Is there any way you could disguise them or slip them away so we're not noticed?
I mean, I just have daggers.
Oh, you're fine then.
Alexander?
Yep.
What kind of weapons do you have, and do you have any way to disguise them? I don't think the disguise self actually changes the items you have.
I don't think it does, but it just makes it so that people misinterpret me whenever they see me. Like if they touch me, they can immediately tell, but they have to make like an active perception check to see if I'm not what they're seeing.
Okay, and actually looking at the spell, it says your armor and weapons are also included, so you're actually good on that thing. Only Edel is our problem.
I could just stuff his things inside of my bag.
Can you stuff him in his bag?
What if we shaved him?
You're not stuffing me in any bag, and you're not taking my weapons.
I
He
thought we
could
already did,
stay at the
but
hotel and get some sleep. He did
We're
just
just
kind of
gonna
get the
leave
crap
him
beat out of
here?
him.
We might need him on the other side of the river.
Oh, yeah.
Are you saying that in character?
Of course.
Edel, I don't know if there's any way to make yourself more dwarvish or less dwarvish.
I am who I am.
Oh, okay, well then, I suppose we'll have to just bank on the fact that you are going to lie your way through this.
Maybe he could dye his hair or beard.
Don't you
Yeah,
magic users have anything to make me look different? Because I'm not taking off my armor, I'm not getting rid of my weapons.
Let's see.
I'm assuming this conversation is happening upstairs and not in the middle of this common room.
Yeah, the rooms are for discussing and for changing, so we don't have to worry about this. Or at least publicly. No, sadly, I don't believe we have anything that would disguise you.
Does anybody have minor or major illusion?
I do.
I
but
do.
it's stationary.
And I remember Alexander was able to move his illusion around.
Oh, that's true. How long does that last, though?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to check.
Ada's going to say, I think we'll be fine once we get out of this city. Ashfell's a bit larger, and surely there's armed people wandering out of the city won't bring too much attention.
Especially if they're having trouble with the half-orcs.
Yes, it'd be foolish not to arm everyone in the city.
I suppose you have a fair point there. Well, I'll bathe, everyone else change, and we'll be on our way.
So are you taking a short rest or long rest? Or are you going to stay the night?
I would like to take at least a short rest. I don't know about everybody else.
I would also like to take a short rest.
Me too.
All right, so short rest is an hour. So we'll say hour goes by, and everybody can clean up as they need to. And around this time, it's probably about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
so everybody can spend your hit die to heal up if you've been hurt.
We changed the map and we lost our tokens, so I don't recall.
Shouldn't it be on your character sheet?
Well, I know how many hit dice and so on I had. I didn't record how many I had left, or how many hit points I had left.
I also don't have that information, but last time we were on, it hadn't saved how much health I actually had, and Edel never hit me.
Hold on just a second, I'll move you back to that map. Alright, everybody should be able to see their characters now.
Yay. Oh, I guess Edel never hit me either.
So Edel's going to spend 4 hit die and get back up to maximum. Torn's going to spend 1. Well, no, he's not going to spend any. He's only down 3 hit points.
And I was down by...
I think you only got hit once.
Yeah, I think I was down to 32. So I will spend 2 hit die, I guess? I don't know how this works.
Yeah, you spend a hit die, so you're a rogue, so that'd be a d8 for every hit die you want to spend.
Okay, that makes sense. It says I have 5, so I spent 2.
Do add your constitution modifier to each die.
Which is 0. Perfect. It could be my strength, which is not good.
Is everyone done healing up and spending hit dice and such? Make sure to
Yes.
recover anything you've spent that recovers on a short rest as well.
I'm trying to figure out if chi points do that. I think they do.
Yes, key points do recover on short rest.
Good. Yep. In any event, I think we're ready to cross the river and tackle Ashfell.
Perfect.
Alright, are you putting the disguises on before you walk downstairs, or what are you doing?
Yeah, we're
Yes.
just throwing them.
Put our armor and such in bags. That's probably the best way to do it, except for people who can disguise themselves. And Edel, because I know he's not going to take off his armor or his weapons.
Well, even traveling priests would need some protection from bandits and the like, yes? So it makes sense to have a bodyguard of some kind.
I don't know about one with skulls all over him. But, okay.
I don't know that he's got skulls all over him. He's got some tattoos, like the tattoo of his contract, on his arms, but those have been hidden by his shirt.
Okay.
Alright, so we'll say that you guys leave the inn, and you walk down the docks, and here at the docks you can see some river boats that are docked. You're also going to see some flat-bottom ferries here, and it looks like one is currently disembarking, and there's another one that's empty at this point, and it seems like there's a couple people, like 2 people queuing up to get on it, and you're going to see a sign that says River Ferry, and it says 10 gold per person, or 10 silver per person. Horses, 1 gold. Carts, 2 gold.
I enjoy that I make you have to think about things like that.
What about ponies?
That would be included as a horse.
So unfair.
She's so tiny.
A horse is a horse, of course, of course.
And
about
dogs,
Adam?
are they special?
A dog? No, that would probably, you could probably barter with the ferry person to get a reduced rate to get the dog on.
What if we put the dog on top of the pony?
Or you could put the dog in the cart.
A bag of holding.
Yeah, put the dog in the cart. That's probably the best way.
Put all our horses in the bag of holding. Sneak them across. Alright, so let's see. We got 5 people. Wait, is it 5? Yeah, 5 people. And 5 plus 3 is 8 horses. And a cart.
So that would be 15 gold in all, is that correct?
I think it's 10 and then 50 silver. So 10 and a half gold.
50 silver is 5 gold.
5. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. So, yes, we're going to approach the ferry and attempt to pay the toll.
You walk up, and there's this dwarf who appears to be manning this ferry. And beside him, there's a human, basically behind a desk with a lockbox behind him that appears to be taking the money. I'd say you're probably going to be walking up to the human behind the desk.
Yes.
And he's going to say, can I help you?
Yes, we're looking to get across the river.
All right, what you got?
We have 1 cart, 5 people, and 8 horses.
All right. And he starts doing the math and says, all right, that looks like that's going to be 14 gold.
14 gold?
Yes, 14 gold.
Are you sure? You did the math right there?
Oh, yes. What you may have not noticed is there's a service charge, plus, a hospitality tax.
Oh, well, that changes things. I'm glad that you've got such reasonable prices. Yes, 14 gold. That sounds perfect.
All right, well, it looks like the next ferry's just about to leave. It's there on the right, and he points his fingers to a ferry that had just disembarked all its people.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate the hospitality. We'll be on our way now.
And he holds out his hand for the money.
Oh, how careless of me. Juliet hands over 14 gold.
And he says, thank you very much. Have a pleasant journey. And he's going to take the gold and takes this long iron key from around his neck and opens the lockbox behind him and dumps the gold in and closes it back and locks it.
Okay, everybody act cool when we get on this ferry.
Everybody be chill.
It is rather chilly outside, isn't it?
No narcs.
We also got undercharged at the end.
That we did.
We put Southbend, suck at math. Take that, standardized testing.
So, you're going to go to the ferry, and it's quite large. It's probably about 15 feet wide and probably 25 foot long, and there appears to be a dwarf on the backside of it with a rudder, and on either side of it there are 2 oarsmen of various races. There's probably 2 humans, a dwarf, and a half-elf. So you guys are going to pile onto this ferry, and there's really not room for anything left, or for anybody else, so it's just going to be you guys. And then once everybody loads off, you're going to hear the dwarf yell, row! The oarsmen on either side of the ferry are going to start rowing this boat to the other side of the river. It'll probably take you about 10 minutes to get to the other side. And you're kind of, with the current, you're kind of ways down the river, and you can see them fighting that. But by the time you land, you're not like right in the middle dock area that you were facing before. You're probably about 50 yards down. But you dock, and the dwarf's going to say, "Wait here, disembark."
Let's ship out, everyone. We have converts to make.
Yes, we do. Let's go, Buttercup.
We
And
unload the
before
horses,
you
the cart, and Edel.
And before you leave, the dwarf's going to say, Mistress Priest, if you wouldn't mind, I hate to ask this, but would you bless my ferry? I am a follower of Erathis, after all.
Oh, yes, of course. One moment while I consult my holy book. Juliet is going to flip through her spell book frantically and try and come up with a half-assed blessing.
Give me a performance check.
Okay. I'm gonna apologize ahead of time, guys.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Ooh.
That's an 8.
Yes.
All right. What you say?
Let's see.
Make it good, get a bonus.
Well, I don't know about that. I gotta make it good in the wrong one. Erathis, by the will of your berry, may you truly bless this berry.
And the dwarf's going to like wait for you to finish, and then realizes nothing else is coming, and says, all right then. Good journey to you.
And you as well, Master Gore.
And as you leave the boat, you turn around and you see he's like looking at you kind of weird.
So there's a reason you have to spend all your time on the road.
And then you hear him say, "Shove off!" And then the ferry moves back to the other side of the river because it doesn't appear that there's anybody over here wanting to get back to Southbend.
Yeah, that ferry's doomed.
And I think that's probably a pretty good place to end it. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dungeons and Debacles podcast. If I could ask a halfling-sized favor, give us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. It's the best way to support us. New episodes come out every Monday, so make sure to check your podcast app. Do you have an idea to make the podcast better? Tell us about it on Twitter or Facebook. You can also check out our website to see all the maps, lore, and characters at dungeonsanddebacklespodcast.com. And now a word from our fantasy sponsor. They've traveled the world, and now, for the first time ever, they perform just for you. Crossbows and Daisies, the greatest collection of bards Suel has ever known, has teamed up with the Wizards of the Tower of Insight to create a magical music player that performs their greatest songs. You don't have to travel to see them in a crowded theater or tavern. You can listen in the comfort of your own home and share the experience with your friends.
I got kobolds in the kitchen and goblins in the garden. They're eating pies and smashing crocs, my fiends they aren't regarding. Grab your pitchfork and your axe and gather up your friends. These filthy little monsters are gonna meet their ends.
And who could ever forget this song of love, lust, and betrayal?
I was dancing with a lady to the Marelish waltz when my comrade cut in and his swooning begins.
And they also perform some of your favorite folk classics.
I believe I was right, but she thinks that I'm wrong. The fighting with her has gone on too long. So I drink and I dice, but I'm not the villain. My woman has left with the pig and the children.
And who doesn't love a good tavern song?
Adventuring is a thirsty hard life. There's no time for kids or even a wife. In our wake is corpses. Bring meat for my men and ale for the horses. I'd returned from the bar when I saw she was gone. The bard had swept her away. I stand here alone. Why did she go astray? The minstrel has stole my maid. The only good witch is dead witch, only good witch I know. Burn him at the stake or drown him in the lake. No more trouble in the village you'll make.
But that's not all. Renowned bard Bartleby Lore Singer tells tales like only he can.
Lend me your ears, for tonight I shall regale you with the tragic tale of Jarek the Unatainer, or some say Jarek the Mad, or Jarek the Twice Cursed. Most tales of merry halflings are happy, but I must warn you, this tale is not for the faint of heart or weak of constitution, for this is a tale of betrayal, madness, murder, and woe.
This is a limited time offer. Supplies are limited, and when they run out, they'll be gone forever. Send a letter to Mad Cedric's Discount Goods and Adventurers Emporium on the Isle of Insight with 50 gold pieces to secure your magical music player with the performances of Crossbows and Daisies now. The music you heard on this episode was Anguish, Mystery Bazaar, Minstrel Guild, Teller of the Tales, and Long Road Ahead by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license. CreativeCommons.org/licenses/by/3.0.